How are you today? How's your week going? It's a Friday morning for me, so we're getting there to the end of the week. Hope you're having a good week. Hi, I'm Beth. I am from Out of the Box Aging. I'm currently traveling in China, and I am talking every day about different topics while I'm traveling. And on the Thursday evenings or Friday mornings for me, I am talking about health. So today's topic in health, I thought I would share some of my favorite tips on how to get good sleep. Now, I am fortunate in that I've never had too much trouble with sleep. I think it's in my genes. My father was a professional napper, he used to say. So I also am able to sleep pretty well, pretty much anywhere, pretty much anytime. I do need my sleep. Like if I don't get enough sleep, then it's not a good thing. But but I'm able to sleep pretty well all the time. I haven't had much trouble. But I do know that how important sleep is and how frustrating it can be if you can't sleep well. So what I wanted to share today, well, I will share like a couple of tips that I think one I've already mentioned before, that are just a good reminder of good thing to do. But I'm going to also introduce the one that most people don't know, which is about laughter and laughter yoga. So the one I want to remind you is that we talked about a couple of videos ago, which was about the box breathing and doing the nervous system reset. That's really great to do at night before you go to sleep. So you can go back and look at that video, or there's a couple different ways to do the breathing reset. The box breathing is where you inhale, hold, exhale, hold, all for the same. So like 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds. Or you can do the 4-7-8. Inhale, hold for 7, exhale for 8. So inhale, hold, and then out really long. Do that 3 times in a row, and that resets your nervous system. That really helps sleep. But these two, this laughter yoga, and then there's another little bonus inside laughter yoga that I'll tell you. So I don't know if anyone's heard about laughter yoga, if you've ever heard of this. It actually came out of India. There was a doctor who, was getting he was starting to get frustrated with helping people because he was doing all of the right things and they weren't really getting better as quickly as he would like, or not being able to sustain their improvements. And he started reading about laughter and how beneficial it was. And he decided to do some experiments where he just had people laugh for no reason at all. And he saw that it helped them. So he created this system called laughter yoga, which is all about laughing for no reason at all, simply because it's beneficial for us. So I just want to read a little bit about how uh, why it's so helpful. So so one thing is that when we what my notes just changed. Sorry guys. Get back up the bottom here. Um So part of the reason that sleep can be difficult is that our mind can't turn off. So our mind is running and running and running, and we can't stop that cycle. So one thing that laughter does is it intercepts that cycle. Okay, so it helps our mind shut off. Um, and the second thing is that when we laugh, we're actually releasing many different neurotransmitters and key chemicals. We're releasing endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. So let me just tell you what all of those, the benefits of all of those are. Right here. Okay. So endorphins are the natural painkillers. So they help with relaxation and our just general sense of well-being. Dopamine is our pleasure reward hormone, or so it helps us, again, feel good. Serotonin is the mood regulator and is for like emotional stability. And oxytocin is for bonding, safety, and a sense of calm. Additionally, there are two um, hormones that are reduced. One of them is our cortisol. So that's our stress hormone. So that is reduced. And then adrenaline, which is kind of what keeps us on edge and keeps us alert, which we don't want if we're trying to sleep, our adrenaline goes down. So it basically is calming the brain chemicals that keep us awake, and it's boosting the ones that help us feel safe and relaxed. So now the lovely thing about laughter yoga is what this doctor found is that our body doesn't care if it's real laughter or fake laughter. Um, so doing basically you just start yourself laughing, and he has different techniques that he uses. Um, but it doesn't matter what it is. So if I just start, for example, and I'm like, okay, um, that's for no reason at all, laughing for no reason at all. And then if you want to have a little more guidance on why to laugh, you can create some scenarios. So, for example, you could have laughter coffee or giggle coffee. So you have your coffee and you pour in your giggle juice or whatever, and then you drink it, and then you're like, and you start giggling. Um, or you can have like associations that you create. So for perhaps when you're driving, every time you get to a stop sign, you just find that absolutely hilarious and you have to laugh, at the stop sign or stoplight or um yeah, just whatever, anything. And the laughter yoga system actually that he created is people are trained in being laughter yoga instructors, and they lead groups, like in-person groups. And I've done this when I was in North Carolina. I had some lovely laughter yoga instructors who would come and lead my classes in laughter yoga. And I can actually, one of them isn't there anymore. She has moved away, but I think I have the name of another one in North Carolina. If someone's interested, oh, hey, Bloom. Yes, good evening. Happy Thursday. We're talking about laughter today and how laughter it helps you sleep, actually. And this system of laughter yoga, which is designed from a doctor in India who discovered that, laughter is beneficial medically. And so he started to experiment with it for laughter for no reason at all, and realized that it doesn't matter if it's real laughter or fake laughter, it's all beneficial. And so he created this system to have people laugh for no reason at all. So and it's really fun to do it in a group, because then of course you get to feed off of each other, and it's just really funny and like fun, and everybody just turns into little kids and you're having a great time, and you really do then, after laughing for just, I think they say if you laugh heartily, I think it's for 15 minutes, it's equivalent of doing cardio for like 2 hours or something like that. I should look up that statistic. Let me just type it into chat really quick and see like what is the benefit of laughing, for 15 minutes related to cardio benefit. Um, okay, so we talked about how laughter helps us turn our mind off. We talked about that fake laughter is just as good as real laughter. We talked about the chemicals, the neurotransmitters and the hormones, the good ones that are the calm and happy ones that are increased, and then the stress ones that are decreased. Um, and So all of this is beneficial for sleep, of course. But there's one other part that I learned from the laughter yoga training that I love, um, and that is called nonsense mumbling or gibberish thinking, gibberish talking. So this is also something we would do live in the group, and it was really funny, but you can do it by yourself. And that is that you are literally just very quietly, softly mumbling gibberish to yourself. So, you know, or to your partner. So you're just like "Ba-dee da da ba-dee ba-da-ba, bo-ba-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, bo-bo-bo-ba-gee, ah-ba-ba, dee-dee-dee-dee-go-ba-la, eh, bo-ba-dee-dee-ba-ba-ba-gee-go, dee-dee-dee-dee-ba-da." Whatever. Um, and the thing is that it also is just turning off the overthinking that we have. It's switching our brain away from our left brain thinking because we're not making any sense. So our left brain can't make sense. And eventually it just lets go. It gives up because there's nothing, it can't work with it. So it lets go. And so if you really are having trouble, uh, releasing, like if you're having that tightness in your body and in your mind and you're not able to let it go, then these are just some different tips. So there's the breathing technique, there's laughter, and then there's nonsense mumbling gibberish. um okay, so then if we had some time, I was going to do one more quick demonstration, which was of the EFT tapping technique. And I actually have a picture of that as well. Someone had asked about this when I did I talked about the tapping that we do for the Qigong, right? This is what we did in our couple weeks ago, just hitting these like tapping points, right? So EFT is similar in that it is working with tapping on certain positions that are related to meridians, but it is tying this to our emotions and it's doing it in a particular order. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT. And so we're going to do tapping, but at the same time, we're going to connect this to, we're going to bring emotion into it. So, for example, say we're having pain in our knee. We would talk about that pain, but give it emotion while we're doing the tapping. So let me bring up the positions. Share. There we go. Okay. So these are the positions. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to move my picture away from the, I don't know how to move my picture away from the thing, but that's just showing the position of your hand. So you're using the karate chop part of your hand. So this side thing, just to start out. Um, so you're gonna hit first the karate side. See the karate side of your hand, and you're going to say to yourself or say out loud, what is the thing you want to work on? So in this case, we're going to say it's the pain in our knee, right? So you're going to say, I have this pain in my knee, and give it some feeling. I have this pain in my knee. I have this pain in my knee. It is so sharp and it's bothering me because every time I take a step, I feel it and it makes me feel like I'm getting old and I don't like that feeling. I have this pain in my knee. Okay. So you kind of have that. That's giving it the instruction on what to start with. And then we're going to go through the different tapping points. So first is here, the very inside of your eyebrow, like that. And you can use two fingers. You're not tapping too hard, but you want to feel it. And you tap there and you just say, pain in my knee. I've got this pain in my knee. And then you go to the outside of the eyebrow, kind of on the bone. Pain in my knee. Got this pain in my knee. Gosh darn it. Wish that pain would go away. I've had it It doesn't seem to stop. And then underneath your, like at the top of your cheekbone, at the bottom of your eye um, pocket, pain in my knee, pain in my knee. And then the top of your lip. No, there's a name for that. Did I put the name there? Just is under your nose. There's a name for this. It's the something. Anyway, top of my knee and pain in my knee, pain in my knee. And then right in the cover of your chin, pain in my knee. Got this pain in my knee. Gosh darn it. Where's this pain come from anyway? I'm not that old. And then your chest plate, your clavicle, I guess. Pain in my knee. This pain in my knee. And then you do one on the side, which is kind of right, like right where the bra strap might hit on your side. Pain in my knee. Pain in my knee. And then the last one is just the top of the head. Got pain in my knee. Why do I have pain in my knee? Okay. So that's the last one. And then you just take a deep breath and release. And then you just check in, like if you had like a maybe a measurement with the beginning, like what was the level, the score of your pain? Was it a 7 or an 8? Check in and see what the score is now. Hopefully it's lower. And if not, you can do it again. And also, if something came up, like while you were doing it, like maybe you said, why do I have this? Where did this come from anyway? And you're like, oh, yeah, I fell when I was a kid because Susie pushed me that day when we were playing and I hit my knee. Gosh darn, Susie, or whatever. I don't know. But then you can say, you know, work on that to like release that next emotion. Because that the idea here is that everything we're feeling has an emotional underpinning. It's not just physical. Our pain, it's something that we're interpreting in our neuro neurology as pain. So there is a physical aspect to it, but there's also an interpretation of that physical aspect. And that interpretation can have emotional underpinnings. So in this system, we're going to work on releasing those emotional underpinnings so that um, we release the pain. And it's really phenomenal how it actually does work. So let me just stop this for a second. So that is also a really good thing to do at night, especially if you have, again, something that you just can't let go of, and these other things just don't seem to be working. The EFT is kind of a little bit more mm, complex, I guess, and if you really a little bit deeper. So if you want to work on releasing something um, that just doesn't seem to be letting go of you, then the EFT process can be very helpful. So, oh, thank you, Bloom. I'm glad that you're finding it. You say you're finding it easy to do and that they feel good. I appreciate that. I also realized when you do your lives that when you read a comment, you repeat it back, and that's really helpful. So I'm trying to do that. Oh, you said that it's nice and feels good. Thank you, Bloom. Oh, your sister and you used to laugh at night in bed before you fall asleep? And if you snorted, it went on even longer. Oh my gosh, snorting, that's the best, isn't it? Yeah. And it really, there are two things. There was a whole hospital that used sunlight for healing. Snorting is the best for sure. Yeah, there was a hospital that used sunlight for healing where they actually put the hospital beds like out on patios, and that was all they did. They were working with tuberculosis, and they didn't use any medicine. All they did was put the beds out in the sunlight and heal people. You know, like Laughter, sunlight, nature, being in forest bathing, touching the earth, earthing, like these are all things that, um, yeah, heal us. We have to remember. We have to remember to use them. Oh, reeling the babies into the sunlight? Oh, I didn't know about that. And forest bathing is in touching the earth. Yeah. I actually purchased a earthing system. You can get them for just you can get like a mat that you can put on your bed and then just connect to the grounding outlet in your house so that when you're on your bed, you're sleeping and you're connected to the earth through that grounding mat. And you can also have one in your car, which you can connect to. You just connect it to the metal? I don't remember where you connect it. You connect it to something and it somehow it connects to the wheels and then the wheels are touching the ground or something. I don't know. Not so sure about that one. But I did have one little one that I used when I was sitting in the office. So I could just put a mat like on the floor in my underneath my desk and like plug it into the outlet so that way I would kind of, because when we're on computers, obviously we're getting that energy from the computers, and so it's really beneficial to be grounded to the earth so that all of this like technology stuff isn't just coming into our bodies and staying there. If we're connected to the earth, then it kind of connects to the earth and we are able to release it. So yeah, gosh, I'm going off, aren't I? But yeah, thank you for being here, and I I hope that this was helpful. These are just some of my favorite techniques for helping people sleep, helping people relax, and I hope it helps you feel better. And please tune in again. Oh, if you like this health tips, then this is a playlist. I'm trying to keep all of these topics in a playlist so that if someone just wants this one, these topics, you can just watch that playlist. And tomorrow is my free for all. I get to talk about whatever I want tomorrow, and I'm not sure yet what it's going to be. But thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful end to your week tomorrow. Okay, bye bye.